Hi, everybody. This is Debbie, and I'm coming to you today for your Wednesday training. Could not do it live as I am on an airplane today, but I made sure I recorded it so you guys would get your training for the week. So I hope you enjoy it. Today I want to talk about the conversation you make when talking about your nails. I know there's lots of different avenues to go, but you get one first impression. That first impression of meeting somebody, you're given one opportunity to promote yourself and to promote our product. So you really want to make the best and the most of that first impression. So I'm going to kind of refer to talking with people that are, you might meet in public today, or you might meet like at a vending event. Nail bars are a little different because you're with a large group of people, and you're talking through all this as a group. But we're just kind of talking if this is one-on-one. So there's 6 different things I want you to focus on when you are talking with somebody. So get a pen and paper and write these 6 things down. And you're probably doing all these and you don't even realize you're doing them. So the first thing you want to do is build a relationship. The whole conversation you're making with this person, you're building a relationship with them. That way you've established something that they're going to want to come to you. They're going to want to ask you about the product. They're going to want to come to you if they want more. So establishing a relationship is key. Number 2, in your conversation, you want to kind of uncover any aspirations or troubles they're having. So in other words, if they're using something else on their nails, are they aspiring or wanting to do something different? Or are they having troubles with what they're currently doing? So you're going to dig around and see if you can figure that out. Number 3 is making your impact clear. So as you're talking about the product, you are making it very clear exactly what our product is and what you can do with it. Number 4 is painting a picture of what their new reality could be. So if you use our product, this is your new reality. And I'm going to go through all these in a few minutes. What could they see themselves doing? What kind of time would they have? How much more money could they spend if they started using Color Street? Number 5 is balancing your advocacy or your promoting of the nails with their inquiries that they may have about the product, and making sure you have ample opportunity to talk about both and to be a good listener to them. And the last one is building a foundation of trust. So through all the things we just talked about, at the end of the conversation, I would hope that you would have built some trust with them, that they would then be willing to trust you to try your product. So today I want to talk about people that you may see like at a vending event or in public, and they either they come over to you at a vending table because, first of all, they're there to shop, so they want to see what your product is. And then the second person would be maybe a person in the store that compliments your nails. So either way, I feel they're the ones approaching you, so it's a really easy conversation to make, right? They've come to you to look at your product, or they've complimented your nails, so they've invited a conversation. So the first thing I say to people is, oh my gosh, it's Color Street. Have you heard of it? And they're going to say yes or no. And if they say no, oh my gosh, I would love to tell you about it. It's 100% nail polish. It goes on super easy. It's 95% dry. Would you like to try a sample? That easy. That's how I introduce it. So from there, if they say, yes, they've tried it, well, then you can get just as excited. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. Then you can ask them other things like, oh, did you go to a party? Where did you buy it? Did you buy it at a vending event? What's your favorite strip? Do you have a stylist that you're using? If they have a stylist, then you can just answer any questions for them. But if they don't, then that's your opportunity to see if they want to get more and become their new stylist. So you have to follow these conversations pieces as well to establish your trust with this new person, because maybe the last person they talked to never followed through, and maybe they've kind of lost trust in a Color Street stylist. So build that rapport and that relationship with them, so now they could potentially be a new customer for you. Okay, so if they haven't heard of Color Street, this is the conversation I lead into. I'm going to start with oh my gosh, we're 100% nail polish. They're 95% dry. They go on in minutes. Would you like to try a sample? And sometimes people may say no, and especially at vending events, I find that if their nails are done, I started going into vending events with naked nails. That way, if they say no, I can say, oh my gosh, I can put a sample on myself if you want to see how easy it is. And that way you can turn that no thank you into they still see the product and then they still may buy. So by the end of a vending event, I have layers of it. I have all different colors on my nails. It's like a rainbow, but that's okay. People love when I do that. So as I'm walking over to them with the sample, even if I'm in a store too, as I'm getting the sample out, my first question to them is, so what do you currently do with your nails? Because this is the part where I can listen to any of their troubles or anything they want to be doing. You know, the number 2 I talked to you about. So it's my opportunity to find out what they're doing, and then I'll be able to, you know, oh, I use shellac right now, or I use dip, but it takes so much time, or it's so expensive, or no, I'm really happy with what I do with my nails. And that's okay too. They might be happy with what they do with their nails, but you could still show them, because our product can still go on acrylic nails or over gel nails. Maybe they want it for in between fills. Maybe they want it for a special occasion with something that they couldn't get done at the salon. Maybe they want it for a gift. So don't discount somebody that already does something with their nails. It does not mean that they don't want to see or hear about the product, because oftentimes then people will say, they may not offer it right away, but then they may offer, oh, I've been wanting to get these off because I know they're ruining my nails. Wow, this would be a really great, great alternative. They just don't know any other alternative right now, which is why they're sticking to what they do. So if they're willing to watch you put a sample on, continue working with them. Okay, so what I do is I get the sample out then, and as I start to talk about it, again, I say, okay, so our sets come in 2 strips of 8. And I know that seems kind of funny because we have 5 fingers, but really what we're trying to do is fit every finger. So if you notice the side by the tab, that's a little bit wider than this side. So, and you can see some are a little bit more square and some are a little bit more round. The purpose of that is so that we would hopefully fit every person's nail, and then we have 2 of every size. So we have 2 of this one, 2 of this one. So when you find the size that fits, you'd be able to use 1 on each hand. So it's pretty amazing that we can fit every single person's hand. So then after I cut the package open, I'm not going to cut this open, but I peel the cover off. So I say the first thing you do is you would peel this clear cover off, and then you take the silver tab and you peel the polish off. Then I usually take it and I kind of hold it up and I'll say, want to smell? It's 100% nail polish. It has the base coat, the paint, and the top coat all in one. I know, and now wait till you see this. It's almost like magic. So when you go to pick out what finger to put it on, you want to line it up to your finger and see which one you think would fit best. If you're in between 2 sizes, I always recommend going with a size that's a little bit bigger than a little bit smaller. And the reason would be is that it doesn't adhere to skin. So you'd rather have it go over the skin and then carefully pick it off the skin after than have a line there and have it look like you have this straight line, like it's a sticker or something on your nail. We wouldn't want you to have that. So notice as I'm talking about all this, I'm building that relationship and I'm giving conviction and making an impact about our product. So everything I'm doing right now is working through that. Okay, so then what you're going to do is you take the polish and make sure that your hands are washed with soap and water, free of any lotions, any oils, any food you may have put on them. And then every pack has an alcohol prep pad. So you just wipe your fingers off, make sure they're totally clean. You take the sample out and make sure your cuticles are pushed back. Now I'm going to take it and I'm going to line it up right at the top of the cuticle, and I'm going to start smoothing it. I smooth really good up into the side. I make sure I get the corners at the top of the nail really good. And then watch this. This is what's so amazing. I take my thumb. It's like my working tool. And I take my thumb and I carefully am almost like serrating it back along the back side of my nail. So, so you don't want to just rip it because that could rip into the polish, but you're using that thumb as a tool down the back side, and then you're done. And then that's typically where they go, are you serious? Is that it? And you go, yes, that's it. Isn't it amazing? I've been doing this almost a year and a half. So of course I can do my nails in about 5 minutes, and I can do them in the car. I can do them in the airplane. I've done them while waiting at my daughter's dance. I could do it anywhere, anytime. It makes it so easy. I'm a person who will be on time, but I push my limits typically to get there on time. So my nails were never done, and they're pretty much always still the last thing to be done. So for me, this has really been just an amazing chance for me to have beautiful nails with no wait time in a salon, a more inexpensive price, and just the ease of being able to do it wherever I want. And the beauty of a salon looking nail. I mean, where could you get these beautiful patterns, right? So right now I just kind of painted a picture of them saving time, of them saving money. So all these elements I talked about are worked right into this conversation you're having with them while you're putting the nails on. So it's a really easy conversation to have. So after I show them the nails, you know, and they, then I hold the pack back up, and I typically will say then, okay, so for me in this pack, the big one is for my big toe. Let me grab a pack and I can show you guys. So I hold it up. Okay, so for me, this is my big toe. This is my thumb. Well, this is my big toe. This is my pinky toe over here, this teeny tiny one that you can't see. And it usually covers a couple of my toes because they're so teeny tiny. This is my thumb. This is my pinky. And then these are my other toes and my other fingers in between. Typically, this is my middle finger since that's a little wider. And this is usually my index and my ring finger. So that's how it works for me. So with that said, if you're going to do a mani or a pedi or both, what you want to be careful of, because your thumb is your tool, always end with your thumb. So start with, if you're going to do toes, start with your toes. Then when you get to your fingers, start with your pinkies, work your way all the way over to your thumbs and do those last. So once they're put on, now that you have this sample on, don't wash your hands for about 30 minutes because I don't want you to get any lotion or water or anything underneath it because that could cause problems with the adhering. Like I said, it's about 95% dry. So it just needs a little bit of time to fully set on your fingernail. So after about 30 minutes, you're fine. And then you treat them, it's nail polish. So you treat it like nail polish. You do everything you normally do. I mean, they stay on so well, it's crazy. The gal who cuts my hair even sells it now because she could never find product that would stay on her hands through all the shampooings that she gave. So it definitely lasts through washing your hands. So when you're done with that, then the other thing to be careful of for the first half hour or so is the tips. So if it's summer and you're ready to go weed your garden, you might want to wait a little bit. You don't want to do anything that could compromise the tips because if you push on those too hard, that'll push back and then you're not going to be happy. So doing regular things, working on your computer or, you know, do it before bed. You're not going to get bed lines, but just be a little cautious of those tips. And that's why, of course, you want to do your thumbs last because if you push back with your thumb, then your thumb would be all pushed back by the time you're done. So it's that easy. And then you remove it with nail polish remover because it's just nail polish. And so we have all sorts of styles. This is where I kind of then break from telling them about it to what we have to offer because then you could have that. Sometimes you feel awkward of how you break into selling it. So that's when then I would say, oh my gosh, we have all sorts of styles. We have solids, we have glitters, we have multi-glitters, we have patterns, we have French. We come out with holiday nails. We have foundation nails. So we have so many different things to pick from. And you know, oh my gosh, we've had this amazing special. So French are $14, buy one, get one free. So it's $7 for a French manicure. And the Frenches last amazingly long. And the solids are 11, glitter, one color glitters are 12, multi-glitter and patterns are 13. But if you buy 3, you get one free. So it's around $10 a pack. I mean, you could not go to the salon for that price. So it's amazing prices. And then, of course, they may say, well, how long does it last? And typically with that question, I would say, you know, it totally depends. Everyone's nails are different. I personally change mine every week because I have all these nails and I'm just dying to put new sets on. I can't even wear, I haven't even worn all the nails that we have because there's so many for me to choose from. So, you know, but I have some people that will leave it on for weeks and weeks and you can see the growth, but they just keep leaving it on. So it just depends what you do with your nails, how hard you are on them. I will say, you know, with solids, and this is where my honesty comes in. I want to go back to the honesty one. This is when I kind of tell some things that I don't know, maybe some people wouldn't, but I'd rather be honest. I kind of feel that solids could show a little more wearing, easier than a glitter. And so when you apply a solid, first of all, sometimes they kind of get bumps at the end. And don't worry, it's normal. But you just might need to kind of work it a little bit more and smooth it more than you would necessarily a glitter, just the way it lies on your nail. And then I would put a top coat on it because it'll help it maintain and last longer for you. So I've just told them kind of some tricks that I've learned to be honest with them about it. So I do think that is a good, important thing to be able to tell them. And then, you know, at that point, you are then going to listen to them. You know, you've heard kind of, if they had told you stuff about, let's say they've been looking for a cheaper way to do their nails. Well, then the solution to that, you know, say, I just think, you know, with this method, you'd be spending less than you would at the salon. I know you mentioned it was getting so expensive and it would take way less time. What would you do with all that time, do you think, if you had all that extra time to just do your nails at the house instead of having, you know, the couple hours you have to take to get to an appointment, to spend the time there and to get back home? So it really is a big time saver. So, you know, and that way you're helping them solve it. You've painted the picture. You've gone through every one of those steps. You built a relationship. You found out, you know, by asking them what they do with their nails currently, you found out, hopefully, to be able to respond to any things that they were hoping for on this product, any aspirations of the product or any trouble with their current product. You've answered that. You've given impact by telling them all that great stuff. You've painted the picture of the ease of it and how they could do it anywhere, anytime. You've built a relationship with them and earned their trust, hopefully, by being honest about things. And you have the balancing the advocacy and inquiry. Now, let me just kind of explain what that would be. So just make sure you're listening. Like if they have a question like, oh, I don't know, I don't know if I could do something like that. Well, don't discount and say, well, anybody can do this. You're not going to want to say that because some people, I have some customers that really truly do like me to apply it, or they really truly are like, I just wish you would. You do it much better than me, or they have their daughter apply it. So just in case they can't, don't make them feel bad that everybody else can. So if they say they don't think they could apply it, say, oh, I totally understand that. I was nervous the first time. And, you know, honestly, the first time, it does take a little bit of getting used to it. The first time you're more nervous and you're really staring at it. But the more you use it, the easier it gets. So, you know, if you order them, I can send you with a sample. So what I would do is practice yourself with the sample first. And then, you know, you're ready to go with the package, which also leads me to, you know, when you go to put these nails on, once you open them, it's 100% nail polish. So our nail polish will dry out, just like regular nail polish. So you want to make sure you know what you're going to do with your nails at the time you open it. So if you know you're going to go walk the dog or run to the store, don't open your nails. Even within those couple hours, your nails will start to dry out. Think of if you spill nail polish on a piece of paper, it dries up. This is the same exact thing. So if you leave it open to air, it will dry up. So know what you're going to do. So some people, like myself, I have short enough nails that I'm able to get, you know, a finger out of each side of a strip. So I could technically do my nails and my daughter's nails and my toes out of one pack. So if I know I'm going to have, you know, my daughter around and we're going to like the same pack, then we can do it at the same time. So just know what you're going to do with the pack before you open it. And I want to tell you, I do not promote resealing to my customers. I don't believe in it. I think it hurts our product, and I think it hurts sales in the long run, because the people who try to save it and it doesn't work, they will then tell that the product does not work as well. Or if they share it with a friend who tries it, their friend did not get first time use nails. I don't promote resealing. If somebody asks me, what can I do with the leftovers if there's so many, I say, well, I just throw them away. I have told them other people try to save them. I tell them I do not. But so I would prefer for you guys as a Color Street stylist to not promote the reusing, because we have people sending nails in all the time that are unhappy with the product, and you can see that they've tried to reseal the package. So it just doesn't look good on our part for the few people, or the people that try it, reseal it, are unhappy, and then go and complain about it. So I don't even put it out there to people. If you tell them right off the bat, I just throw them away. You know, it's nail polish, it's going to dry up. They seem to be pretty good about it. So with that said, another place I build honesty is then if I notice they're saying something about they want to get these just for an accent nail, I'm not going to sell it to them for an accent nail. I mean, I will, but I'm going to say, you know, these are 100% nail polish. They will dry up. So if you're going to buy this pack just to use one, that really isn't the best route to go, the best bang for your buck. You'd be spending $11 to $13, you know, for an accent nail on each hand. So I'm honest about that. So that's the conversation I have with anybody who is random. Now, if I was at a nail bar, I would probably have told all that stuff in front of my whole group. So then the cool thing about that, and that's where I feel you really get to work on the relationship building at a nail bar, is when you're working one-on-one sampling people or checking them out, that's when you get to build even more rapport with them. So some conversations you may make with them are, if they didn't tell during the nail bar, sometimes I know we go around and ask people what they do with their nails. So what do you do with your nails again? And if they've already asked that, or even if they haven't, so do you have any events coming up that you think these would be great to wear? Tell me, so have you picked out a favorite strip? What else? Asking them about them. What types of things do you do that you like to paint your nails for? Do you paint them every day, or is it special occasions? And then you can just make small talk with them as you're putting the sample on. If you've already explained it, you can kind of go over some of the things with them, like, oh, make sure your cuticles push back. See, watch how I push behind here. But make conversation. You have more time to build that relationship with the person at a nail bar. Now, with that said, I will say I just had a vending event last weekend. It was a 2-day event, and there was lots of moms and daughters. So again, as they're looking at my booth, I'm making conversation. Oh, have you skated yet today? It was a skating competition. I see your coat. You know, is that where you're going? Is that where you go to school? I'm making small talk with them because I'm building that relationship. So when one mom and her daughter in particular came back the next day, they were ready to buy nails. I said, oh, you have, I think her purse might have been blue and yellow. And I said, is that where you are going to want to go to school? And she said something about graduating. I said, well, you're in that extra year, that 5-year high school program where, you know, you finish next year, right? And you'll have your associate's degree. And the mom looked at her daughter and she looked at her and she said, oh my gosh, she remembered that. Because I did. I made sure when I was engaging these conversations, I was listening, and I put their name or their face in my head. So the next day when they came back, because they said they'd be back, which they don't always come back, I was able to bring back up the conversation we talked about the day before. Well, that builds a relationship right there. You remembered and you paid attention to what they were saying. So if they're at a vending event or at a nail bar, make conversation. Ask them about you. Don't ask them about them. Don't just sit and talk about you. It's a great way to just be back and forth. And everything you learn about them, make sure you write down on their checkout note, not everything, but some things, so you can remember when you're doing your follow-ups what to say with them. So that is really the main things that I do when I'm talking about the nails. Again, I think it's a really easy conversation to have, no matter where you are. I have no problems talking about it. So the biggest thing to remember, again, is when you're selling, smile, be friendly, build that relationship. All the other things are just going to happen. The product conviction, the offering, painting a picture of reality, of their new reality, finding out if they're having troubles or wanting something new. You're finding all that out in your conversation. You guys are probably all doing this already and didn't even notice it. And you never know. They may not buy nails from you, but you don't know. It could lead to a referral. It could lead to them hosting a nail bar down the road and them giving you friends who want to come buy the product. So treat every person you meet like somebody that's either going to be your customer or lead you to your next customer. All right, so my challenge to you guys for the week is to get out there. Get out there. If you don't have an event coming up in this next week that you could talk to people, challenge yourself to go out and make conversation with a few people, sample them, and see how much fun it is to be telling them about the nails, and see if you went through those different things in your head, and if not, then you work on them for the next time. With every conversation, it gets easier and easier. I've done so many events, like that conversation just kind of comes like this. And I know today it kind of went in bits because I would explain as I went. But when I'm with that person, it just goes. I just have it. I don't want to say it's memorized, but it really is. It's just kind of a script. And for the most part, I have it in my head with, whatever they add in between. So enjoy it, have fun. The more you do it, the better you get at it. And yes, you're going to forget to tell them some of the stuff every time, and that's okay. You can always add it later, when you're talking to them later or later on in the conversation. But do your best. Practice with a family member if you want. Have friends come over, practice with them. The more you practice, the better you get. Practice, I don't believe, makes perfect, because we're working with people and every conversation will be different. But practice definitely gets you more experience and more confidence. So have fun and have a great rest of the week, everyone.